Got a question for you, Brandon. You've been high on the Rams. Matthew Stafford has been dealing with a lot of problems this year that I saw you put on Twitter. Who do you have winning this game at 4:25 Sunday?
I have now this is a oh man, it's an interesting game. I'm gonna take the Rams, but I am weary of that pick. And I'm gonna tell you why. And John alluded to me tweeting out the Rams problems in order last night. And number one on my list is the O-line. The O-line has been god awful. I'll give John his credit. He was right about that. The Andrew Whitworth retirement and they lost a guard. I forgot his name, but those have been very impactful on the Rams offensive line. And to show you that, I mean, it's been very when it rains, it pours for the Rams O line. Matthew Stafford is tied for second in amount of times he's been sacked this year with 16, and they've only allowed one sack in the Arizona game and the Atlanta game, one sack in each game. But they allowed 7 in both of their losses to the 49ers and the Bills. It's just Stafford has been hit 28 times this season. That's like, I think, 4th or 5th in the NFL. So the O-line has been a huge and major problem. Now, number 2 on my list is the lack of offensive creativity and it being too predictable. And the perfect example of that is we actually were reacting to this live on camera when we were shooting our Monday night show, and the Monday night football game was going on, the 49ers versus the Rams. And Justin brought it up when it happened, the pick 6 by the young kid that I can't pronounce his name, but the kid that John likens to a Troy Polamalu, and I've heard that comparison before of that guy. We got a pick 6 on Matthew Stafford, and I heard Keyshawn Johnson talk about this on First Take on Tuesday morning, and he said, this is the perfect example of this offense being way too predictable and there's no real creativity, and it's surprising to be saying that about a Sean McVay offense. The reason that kid was able to do that play, get that pick 6, is because it was Cooper Kupp lined up there. And this kid has been doing his homework on film. And he knows that, oh, this is exactly, it looks like a screen pass to Cooper Kupp. If you lined Allen Robinson out in Cooper Kupp's position out there, or another Higbee or another receiver out there, that play is not made because it's not been on film. So the lack of creativity and the too predictableness of the Rams offense has been a downfall this year. And I can't believe I got to say it again, because I cannot believe I'm saying that about a Sean McVay offense, the whiz kid, the new kid on the block. His offense is lacking creativity and it's too predictable. Another stat to point to that, Cooper Kupp has 54 targets through 4 games. 54! Second on that list, Higbee at 36. Next, Allen Robinson at 18. And number 4, Ben Skowronek, if I'm saying his last name right. Skowronek, thank you. 16 targets. Allen Robinson has 2 more targets than Ben. Moving on to the third reason why this Rams team is not performing well. The run game, 0. No run game. Their run game is ranked 30th in the NFL, 68.5 yards per game. They've showed up against weaker competition, again, against Arizona, Atlanta, but have been shut down against the 49ers and the Bills. They were non-existent. And then 4th on that list is the defense. This Rams defense that I hyped up so much, they added Bobby Wagner. I was so hyped about that move. Now they've got a game changer on every level of the field that you look at. Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, Jalen Ramsey. That's what I was praising. I said, you don't need a bunch of good players at every position, even though that would be great. If you got a great player at each level of the defense, you're doing great because they can change the game. They have not. And let me show you why. The Rams pass defense ranks 20th this season. 20th. They are behind the Houston Texans. Let that sink in. The Texans. 16th overall in yards allowed, the Rams defense is. They have 7 sacks so far. 7. With people who are comparing Aaron Donald to Lawrence Taylor. People are saying Aaron Donald is the best defensive player to ever live. John has stated, I believe, that Aaron Donald is the best player in football, if I'm not mistaken. He has said that. This season, he said that. 7 sacks in 4 games. They are bottom 10 in that. They are allowing a 91.5 passer rating to their opposing quarterbacks. That ranks 18th, and they rank 22nd in completion percentage, allowing a 67.6% completion percentage to their opposing quarterbacks. This Rams team is in shambles, and it needs to be fixed. Get Allen Robinson involved. The O-line, I don't know how you can fix that on the fly this season. I mean, there's nobody to really add. Maybe they should have went and looked at a Jason Peters that now the Cowboys, what a move that was. I mean, he wouldn't have been able to play left tackle. He's playing left guard in Dallas now because the feet are just not quick enough anymore at 40 or 41 years of age. I don't know how that can be fixed right now, mid-season. Maybe it's just more chemistry together. The lack of creativity and too predictableness, that can be fixed. Sean McVay, what are we doing? I remember this guy giving a quote that he literally, I don't know if he still does it, but a couple of years ago when I think Wade Phillips was coaching his defense, he would literally during defensive drives where his defense is on the field, go sit with this quarterback and write the plays that they were going to do for the next drive. What is that happening now? What is going on right now? What are we doing, Sean McVay? And I will put a little bit blame on Matthew Stafford because I heard Stephen A say this and he makes a valid point. Stafford is a 13 or 14 year veteran in this league. He's got some cachet. He just won a Super Bowl for this team. He should be able to go up to Sean McVay and be like, yo, we got to get this guy Allen Robinson involved. Now, I don't know if because we don't know, we're not in the LA Rams practice. We don't know if something's going on in practice that Sean McVay is seeing or Matthew Stafford is seeing with Allen Robinson, that they're just like Kenny Galladay. Maybe Brian Daboll is definitely seeing something in practice that he's just like, I'm not even going to put you on the field because I don't see it in practice. Maybe that's the same thing with Allen Robinson. I don't know, but it needs to be fixed. You're paying this guy, $14-15 million? The Robert Woods trade looks like a terrible trade now because you should have kept him. Him and Stafford had a pretty good connection through those couple first weeks last year. Odell is not going to be ready until mid-November, maybe. That needs to be fixed. The run game, Henderson, Akers, they're playing better against worse competition, but they need to start getting better. And that's also with the O-line. And the defense, it's just Aaron Donald. I mean, you came back, you basically said you were going to retire, and then they made you the highest paid defensive player in the NFL or in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken. And you've done what? And then not even to blame him because he's probably getting doubled and triple teamed. Leonard Floyd, what are we doing? And I agree with John now that he said before the season, I attributed Von Miller's resurgence to Aaron Donald. And I still think that had some to do with it, but Von Miller has done very well on the Bills this season. And maybe it was just that he needed to change the scenery in Denver. And it just looks like the move they made to get Allen Robinson is looking like one of those moves that completely fell this team apart because you didn't have the money to pay Von Miller and you got rid of Robert Woods. 2 people that you probably should have kept. It's not looking good. I'm still going to pick the Rams this week, though. I think they can get it together. I still think they can win the division over the 49ers. They just got to string together a couple of good games, and they'll be all right. And I do have to say, they were off to a bad start last season, in the beginning of the season. So maybe it's something like that, and we'll see them start clicking in a week or two and whatever, and then they're going to be off to the races. But there are some concerns in LA for me.
You know, you said that the Rams have been playing better against worse opponents, but not by much. You know, they're not by much. They're still, the games that they have won are 1-score games, almost losing to Marcus Mariota and the Falcons. And the Arizona Cardinals actually put up a fight against them. So I don't know how good this Rams team is, but through 4 weeks, they do not look like the Super Bowl champions that we saw last year. So with that being said, I'm rolling with the Cowboys this week. I think they're pretty much just rolling here. 3-1 is the best start that they could have ever imagined after losing Dak. I think they would have been happy if they went into Dak's return 2-3. I think they would have been satisfied with that. But right now they're sitting at 3-1. They have a big game against LA, but Cooper Rush is game managing the hell out of these games. He's playing well. He doesn't need to throw for 300 yards. But one thing that hasn't been mentioned is Michael Gallup is back too in that offense. So the Cowboys have a lot to look forward to. A lot to look forward to. Zeke still isn't, running the way we'd love to see him, but we can't argue. They still have a solid rushing attack with Zeke and Pollard. Their receivers are stepping up on all ends of the field now, and their defense is top 3 in the league. Top 3. I'd go that far. And I don't know. Maybe I'd argue that this Cowboys defense is better than the 49ers defense the Rams just went up against last week. Or on par.
Okay. So a couple of things. Bryn, pronounce it with me. Tala, Noah,
Noah,
Who,
Fan,
Ga.
Ga,
Tala Noah Ufanga.
Tala Noah Ufanga.
Over, reaction.
Reaction?
Yep.
What?
I heard you sing the Rams' praises before the season started. The full 9 yards about the star power. And 4 weeks in, you're already bailing ship.
No.
Almost. Damn near.
I picked them to win this week.
I know, but the way you're talking about them, it sounds like, the scale, you're going like on a seesaw effect. The Rams this year, they've played the 2 best defenses in the NFL. So when you said the Cowboys got the 3rd best defense, I'm saying to myself, they're close, but that 49ers group last week, Talanoa Ufanga, Nick Bosa, and the entire unit as a whole with an amazing defensive coordinator replacing Robert Saleh, that's a scary team. And the Bills are the 2nd best defense in football right now. For this Rams group, it's pretty simple. They can't protect Matthew Stafford, and that's the biggest issue. It takes time to build chemistry on the offensive line, and for a guy, Matthew Stafford, who's, not the most mobile, he's already got 16 sacks to his name this year, and the amount of quarterback hits he's taken at 34 is far too many. Allen Robinson, sure, $31 million guaranteed, and Tyler Higbee's played a larger role in this offense. Allen Robinson's been even worse than he was last year in Chicago, playing with, who was it? Justin Fields and, was it Andy Dalton? I just got to say, it's at the end of the day, you shouldn't be panicking on the Rams that much because they still are a top 10 team in football. But at the end of the day, this Cowboys group is clicking on both ends, and it's a testament to their coaching and a word that the Rams may not know too much of. It's called depth and good drafting. So,
John, I'm not completely out. I literally just ended my argument by saying that I still have them winning the division. And I still have belief in this team. And I'm picking them to win.
That's not a testament to how good they are because you talk at volume about how the 49ers are missing the playoffs. That was your prediction before the season.
Yeah.
So that's not that impressive, clearly, if they're going to win the division and the 49ers aren't a playoff team, right?
That doesn't mean anything. I'm still picking them to win the division, though.
I'm just saying you had 5.
And you guys had the 49ers as a top 5 team in the NFL.
You had a laundry. I'm not talking about us. You had a laundry list of issues with this group, with this Rams group. So you're clearly you're bailing on them.
I'm not bailing. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you that there are concerns for this team, just like there's concerns for every team. I'm just listing you the concerns that I'm saying are in order right now that need to be fixed, and some of them can. The lack of creativity can be fixed. Being too predictable can be fixed. The run game can be adjusted. The defense can play better. Those are things. The O-line is going to come with time, like you said. Chemistry needs to be created over time. That cannot be rushed. But the other things can be fixed. They need to be fixed. And
they need to be fixed.
Obviously, they need to be fixed. I just think that they need to. I'm just telling you the concerns I have. And I'm telling you that an Allen Robinson move was probably one of the worst moves that they could have made because they lost out on a Von Miller and they traded away Robert Woods when they never should have done it either.
I just think they lost Vaughn in the first place. That's not the point.
This
They
team
have
has an
13 more
uphill
weeks.
battle.
Yes.
Uh,
13 more weeks. Sorry,
Yeah,
yeah.
keep-
Do you have
keep
more to
going.
add?
Yeah, I was gonna say they got the Cowboys this week, a week off against the Panthers, and then 49ers and the Bucks. This team could be 3-5 in a few weeks.
And Stafford's been completing his passes at an elite level, 71% with 6 interceptions. So the ball's not really hitting the turf too much when he's throwing it this year. It's just that he's leading the league in picks because of how much he's been under duress.